Star Wars Destiny is a great game to play, but is it a great game to watch?
We take a look at the spectator element of the game from streaming, streamers, and just attending an event.
We will provide some helpful tips and tricks to make the most out of your Destiny viewing experience.
This is episode 148, Destiny, a Spectator Sport.
You have been well trained.
No. You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Oh, do not.
I'm not afraid.
Please don't try.
Welcome everyone, and we are back to another week at the Chance Cube, where we have ripped Kim away from The Little Mermaid Live to come talk about Star Wars.
I love you guys that much that I left my childhood favorite movie to come hang out with you.
I'm assuming you're recording it.
Yep. Thank the Lord for DVR, or else I'd have a VHS thing going on down there.
Oh, that's too funny.
Because they don't really re-show those. Like, it's kind of a one and done sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I like that it's the wonderful world of Disney. Like, it reminds me of my childhood when they used to do that kind of stuff more often. Like, on the weekends and stuff like that.
We may see more of that. We'll see.
And I saw a preview for Frozen 2, which is not Star Wars. But it looks okay.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Even more Frozen.
The one song they play in it sounds a lot better than Let It Go.
Let It Go is a cultural phenomenon. I don't know what you're talking about.
They're trying to create another cultural phenomenon, I'd imagine.
Probably.
I'd break into song, but none of our listeners want that. And
then Disney's streaming, and then we're only, a week out from The Mandalorian?
But only one episode. Has anybody caught up on that?
No! Are you serious?
They're doing an episode a week.
They're doing it's serialized. Yeah, it's smart.
No,
really.
I have to watch TV like a normal person.
Oh, it keeps your.
I can't just take the day off and binge.
Because you can't subscribe for a month, watch the whole thing, and then be done. You have to subscribe for a couple months to watch the whole series, which is
taking a page out of CBS's book.
Yeah, well, we did find that so if you're Verizon Unlimited and you go to their homepage, you can get Disney Plus for a year for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're cutting the cable
I'm gonna do that.
We're cutting the cord this week, I think.
I have to find a new one, so we're on PlayStation View, and they're getting rid of that come January, so...
I saw that.
I figure we'll just be all Disney all the time.
I'm one of those Netflix, Hulu, Amazon types, where that's all I have, plus network TV.
That's all we had, yeah. How are you used to the network with an antenna?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the digital ones. I mean, you don't get everything.
Way out here in the sticks, those antennas don't work as good.
No, I could see that.
Wow.
So... I'm excited for The Mandalorian, and I don't know when the Clone Wars season... Do you know when that is, Jason? Have they announced that yet?
According to my TV Time app...
Oh my.
It says... Yes, I'm trying to figure out how to keep track on my TV if don't have a DVR to tell me what to watch.
That's actually not a bad idea. I don't know, some of the servers... We still had streaming, or we still had DVR through View.
This is 88 days. Do I believe it? February 1st? I don't know if that's an estimation or if that's actual.
I'm very excited for that, although I don't really watch enough TV to justify something like an app for it. I will watch the new Clone Wars, though, for sure.
And the new Marvelous Mrs. Maisel comes out in a month? Oh, Lord.
I love that show.
I'm done.
I'm covered for a while, like I'm good for a while.
Ugh. Yeah, but this is not a show about TV.
Kind of is.
We can make it about The Mandalorian starting next week. We have a little segment.
Yeah, isn't this a show about watching Star Wars, though, Destiny?
Well...
Oh!
Wow, look at that.
So,
they're great.
Speaking of that, this is Star Wars related and everything. Speaking of watching Star Wars, I sent Jason a screenshot of this the other day. Somehow, in all my husband's YouTube surfing, he found some YouTube that plays the first 6 movies all at once. Huh. So it is 6 individual... we made it through the opening credits, where they don't line up. They start out okay, and then it gets... Yeah, there's a screenshot. Then it gets progressively worse. So they're not real... You know, like how you sang Row, Row, Row Your Boat as an Echo as a kid? It started to become that. And then the movies start, and it's just... system overload, man. Like, it's because it's all the sound, it's all the... So we lasted maybe 2 minutes watching it, and then had to turn it off. But
surprises me that it hasn't gotten like a copyright slam, to be honest with you.
yeah. I don't know how old the video was. That I don't remember. I'm sure I could find it in our history thing. But it was one of those wacky, like, I can't imagine that anyone would ever want to actually sit and watch that. And if you can manage to sit through all of it, I don't know how. But it was 2 hours and 22 minutes, if I remember correctly.
I don't know how the times sync up, but it would be deeply satisfying to watch the end of Phantom Menace at the same time as the end of Episode 3. Because I'd see that little child Anakin get his comeuppance for all of his happiness.
I'll send you the link. You can scroll through it and let me know, because I can't make it.
Whatever makes you happy.
But that was my... Every now and again I have those oddities of Star Wars that I find in the interwebs. That and Home Depot has an 8-foot AT-AT inflatable Christmas decoration that I desperately want for my front yard.
Like the reindeer?
Huh?
Like the reindeer people put in their yards kind of deal, or is this like an indoor 8-foot tall?
No, I don't. I guess you could put it indoors, but I wouldn't. The dogs would not be pleased. It's an outdoor one. So I have a Vader I'm looking to add to the collection. We're not sure an 8-foot AT-AT would actually fit in our front yard. It was a pretty small front yard. So for those of you already starting Christmas shopping, or if you see a Black Friday deal, let me know.
I will.
If you guys didn't know what to get me, I want an 8-foot AT-AT for Christmas.
I want to get James one for Epic Loot. Just so I'm sticking it in there.
Speaking of Epic Loot, let's go ahead and jump into the news and find out all about the Prime from the thing that y'all did last weekend.
The thing with the thing that we did at the thing?
Let me take that back, huh? You'll find what you need.
So though we are in a post-Worlds world right now, the Prime season is still hot. Which is interesting that I think there's less attention to it or less coverage, because most people are using those first couple primes to really look at the meta going into Worlds, and now it's it's not as talked about. Yeah, I mean there's still people reporting results and all that stuff, but I think there's a little less interest in that globally, or at least nationally. That being said, there was a Prime in Ohio, and the Ohio branch of the Chance Cube, which is these other two people were there. One played, one did not.
One did not.
We could allegedly call what I did playing, I suppose.
He did fine.
Well, let's.
He had the hardest strength of schedule, I might add.
Let's start with that then, Mike. How was your day at the Ohio Prime?
Oh, not bad. It was definitely very similar to my day at the Cleveland Prime, actually, the other Ohio Prime. 4-2 Swiss. This time I bubbled in instead of bubbling out, but I didn't get any farther than top 8, so it felt very similar. You know, it was like a decent day, not a great day. It's certainly a day that I'm not like mad about. I'm not going to leave and be like, oh, I'm the worst. But you always want to do better. You know? It's this weird feeling of like almost. It was almost a good day. It was a fine day. It wasn't.
What'd you end up playing?
I played Kylo Ray this last weekend.
So he matched the mat that he won. That was a pretty slick mat. I'll give it that. I think the general consensus was everyone liked the top 8 mat over the actual champion mat.
See, people say that. I actually like.
I think you're the oddball that didn't. That's right.
It's a little fuzzy, and like I get that, but I like the art better. If it was sharper, I think I would probably like it a lot better. But
I think that's a good way to put it. The top 8 mat is sharper. That's a very good word for it.
Got it. Very cool.
It is, yeah. Like if you look at them side by side, the champion one almost looks like the resolution's just a little worse, and I don't know why. That's how
he got printed over twice, and the lines didn't line up.
Yeah, something like that, right?
So there were 32 players. It looked like a fairly typical meta. Anything really crazy that came up? You're like, wow, that's cool.
There were 2 mill decks. I actually have the character pairings.
Crazy
cool
people
like
playing mill.
There's 2 mill decks, So it was a Leia. Phooey dooey. It was a Jyn Cassian.
Okay.
That I think our Patreon Michael Torres was there piloting, if I remember that correctly.
He was there. I don't remember what he was.
He was there. He came over and did say hi. And and then afterwards I went, oh, shoot, that was... And so my apologies, Michael, because I'm notoriously bad about that. And then he was playing, and then so that was the end. Okay. Please hold. Please hold. Please hold. Okay. There was a Leia Cassian. So that was one of the mill decks. And the other one was Jyn and Cassian.
I did not play against either one.
Lucky.
I wish we would have gotten one of them on the stream.
Yeah.
That would have been kind of smart, yeah. I kind of let... That just sort of was outside of my purview for most of it. That was sort of Kim's animal.
And I kind of let the story... Well, when we did have some folks that didn't want to be on stream, that's totally cool. So, we brought in some... We tried to grab some different decks, but we didn't get... the mill deck was the one of the... Probably out of all the oddities, the main one that we didn't get a chance to get on stream.
It's interesting because we haven't really faced a refusal to stream in a while. Like, I think community wide, there hasn't been a lot of talk about it recently. So that's interesting that y'all ran into that.
Like, honestly,
yeah, well, and go ahead, Mike.
In Top Cut, I totally get it because it's one of those things where, like, you're going to mess up. You will inevitably mess up at some point. Like, I messed up in my stream game at the very end of it. Just one of those things. And in Top Cut, where there are, like, legitimate stakes, and there are people watching, particularly in Best of 3 when you've been playing for, 4 or 5 hours already, there's an element of not wanting to be the person who makes a major mistake on stream and is accused of cheating or being disingenuous or having nefarious motives. Like, all of those things that maybe aren't true, you're just tired or nervous or something like that. You don't necessarily want to subject yourself to it. And if you're somebody who knows that you have nerves in a Top Cut anyway, I certainly would understand not trying to compound that by putting yourself on camera in front of, I think we had like 50 people. Not wanting to have
60 some, yeah.
Like, not wanting 60 people to see you screw up, So
Yeah,
I get it. I get why. Well, in Swiss, I don't care. I mean, at that point,
yeah, and I had a conversation with one of them, and it boiled down to that they had a negative playing experience at a different time, not during our event, and it just decided, I don't really want to be on stream anymore. And I totally respect that. I get it. I wouldn't necessarily enjoy it. You're adding one more layer to an already what could be a stressful situation. I had another buddy who was actually at a big Magic event over the weekend at the same time, and he said that he talked to a guy who'd been coming to that event for 8 years, and first game and his hands were still shaking. So there's a lot of there can be a lot of nerves involved with it too. And then now you're just adding a layer on top of it because you're aware of this thing above you. Like,
sure,
you're aware of the camera above you. We didn't have lights or anything going. The lighting was good enough in the store, but
it's one of those things, right? Where, like, now, me personally, I don't care if I look like an idiot because it's not like everybody hasn't already heard me talk about myself that way, at least once on stream, probably, or at least here. But there are a lot of people, you really don't want to look that way. You know what I mean? You want to not have that.
Sure.
Sort of you don't want it to look like you mess up, or you don't want it to follow you, and I get it. So it's like when people say I don't want to be on stream, I say, I get that. I mean, I'm going to play on stream because I don't necessarily care that much. Although in Top Cut, it's a different story. I don't really want to be streamed in Top Cut, honestly.
Yeah.
I would be if it was one of those things. There's either no stream or it's me. I would do it, but certainly if someone else wanted to do it, I would let them go first. So even I kind of get that,
Yep. And we hung around till it got to top 2. And when we knew that they wouldn't want to be streamed, that's when we went ahead and packed up. But we're slightly... to circle back to other decks that we saw, probably the most interesting deck that I feel like caught the most attention from the stream and those of us there was that Dryden Voss Mahdi deck that we did get an opportunity to have on stream.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was a very cool deck. And part of me feels like that I really wanted to see that one squeak out the win to get to top 8. I'm bummed that it didn't.
It got to top 8. It was 8.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You're right.
It lost in cut in that top.
And
8.
I don't know that it should have, but it did. Like,
well, the ultimate reality of the situation is, mistakes and all. If you agree, you win or you lose. You agreed, you won or you lost. And whether it be because of nerves or because of time or because of fatigue, it was what it was. So I would say that in that particular situation, yes, it lost. Would he have lost round 1? I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, like, of the tournament.
mm-hmm.
But I don't know, it was what it was. A lot of people saw that game, so they can kind of make up their own minds.
Yep. Yeah, that was a really cool deck. I'm looking at the other. There was a Dooku Watto Wolfen deck that I never. Did you face that one at all, Mike?
No, but Wolf's like my favorite character of all time.
Whenever I saw that on the deck, I thought, oh, it's Mike's guy. Like,
yep.
So there were. I'm stealing Jason's thunder this week because I have the data for a change. So out of 30, out of 32, and the best part is I just saw his arms go up in there. Out of 32 players in the field, we had 6 Chopper Droid decks. Find something new to play, you guys. Seriously.
That's very good.
There were 4 Afra Grievous Sentinel Messenger decks. And 4 Kylo Ray decks. And then 2 Jango Phasma, 2 Vader Greedo, which we knew those 2 players. And then 2 Grievous Sentinel 4-Lom. And then everything else was a one-off.
I find it incredible that 2 people played Jango Phasma. I want you to know that. Because
one was local.
I've only seen one guy play that deck.
Yeah.
He's played it a lot, so that wasn't weird. But when you said there were 2, I said, what?
Yeah, there were 2. I don't know.
That's incredible to me that somebody else played that. Not disrespectful.
I'm not gonna say who, but I'm just.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
I know all the things, you guys.
I get it, but
I know all the things. This is fun. Now I know how Jason feels all the time.
I usually just pretend like I know what I'm talking about, and people tend to believe.
Well, that's what I do.
I'll start making some stuff.
Yeah, I don't know who the other. Oh, you know what? I am incorrect in my stats.
Kim.
So there's a Jango Phasma.
Mm-hmm.
Kim.
There's a Jango Phasma Newt.
Okay,
Kim.
see, that's very different.
What?
I know the people who are listening to this audio can't see anything, but there's a bug on your camera.
Oh, man. Oh, there is! I see it! Oh, how do I wop it? Please hold.
It's just doing its thing, man.
That's fantastic. Of all the places. Wah! Okay. No, go away, fly! Oh, no. The battle begins.
I'm rooting for the fly, Kim. I'm sorry.
Dude.
Fly.
What was the thing? So you weren't on the show yet, but there was a bug of some sort that flew right at my face one show. It wasn't a fly.
I don't remember that. Was I on the show?
Oh, I remember it, but I don't remember what it was. And there was lots of, per usual, strange Kim noises. I'm totally watching it now. It's still hee-hawing around the camera.
You have all the data though, so you have to get back to it. Sorry.
I have all the data. So I stand corrected. So that was a Django Captain Phasma Newt.
I was about to say, I don't think anybody else played Jango Phasma ever. So, other than another local guy. So that makes more sense. I was like, who brought that?
But we had, turnout-wise, I think we were all kind of impressed that we'd mentioned on last week's show, right? The being centrally located in Ohio, we kind of anticipated. So we did have folks from Cincinnati. We had a Michigan crew. We had Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Indianapolis might have been who won, if I remember correctly.
Oh, the Palpatine deck won.
The Palpatine deck.
Where he was from, though.
I thought somebody had mentioned that, but I'm not sure. Very nice guy. Palpatine. Who was that? Palpatine what? I forget.
Mahdi. It was Palpatine Mahdi.
Mahdi. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Which is some serious health to chew through. 1812.
Yeah. What is it?
18 and 12.
Points cost? Oh, yeah.
See,
Yeah.
I have all the data.
Yeah, it was It was a good deck. I mean, Admiral's Admiral does Admiral stuff. And he played super well. In our game, he
seemed super. I mean, he was chill the whole time.
In our game, he technically missed an activation, but it didn't matter because it was the difference between 4 Palpatines and 5. And at that point,
oh wow!
I mean, you're dead, so
yeah,
it's sort of a moot point. But if he had, I think he would have regretted that.
Mm.
So out of all the chopper droids, only 2 made it to top 8, and those 2 made it. Then they made it to top 4.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 1 Kylo Ren in top 8.
I know who that was.
We had a Han, C-3PO, R2-D2. I also knew who that was.
That was a local guy, yeah.
Yep, and then we had Jango Phasma.
That was Nathan.
The Dryden Voss Mahdi.
Yes.
And then a Grievous Afra Sentinel Messenger.
Yep.
And then we mentioned the Palpatine too.
Yep.
So I felt like that was... Yeah, droids hung in there. But I felt like that was overall a pretty good... I don't know, it felt like a little bit more of a mix. And that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping that we didn't see Kylo Ren chopper droids in the top... and that was it. Like, so I'm...
It was still... I mean, realistically, if you want to call that droids Reylo Afra, it's still 7 out of 8.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
So, I mean, the meta is kind of what it is, I guess, in that sense. But...
Yeah.
I was surprised that the Forlom decks didn't do a little better. I thought that like one of our guys was on Forlom, and he's a pretty good player, so I thought that might go better. But I mean, it didn't. It's one of those things.
I'm attacking the fly pistol.
The fly's fine. The fly's brave. The fly's bold.
The fly is hiding between the rows of my microphone holder.
The fly is clever. The fly is a survivor.
Yeah, the fly is clever. So yeah, so we ended up with the 2 choppers, Palpatine, and then the Grievous Afra deck in top 4.
Yep.
Very cool.
And then ended up being the Grievous Palpatine in the top 2. No, I'm sorry, Chopper.
It was Chopper, yeah. I was
saying Chopper and Palpatine in top 2.
I played it against the Grievous Afra in top 8, and all credit to my opponent who played very well, but it was an intensely frustrating game. It's one of those ones where it's like, you probably have a slight matchup advantage, and you didn't really make major play mistakes, but things just don't fall your way.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm never ever going to exclusively blame dice rolls for losses because I think that's lazy.
I do. What's wrong?
Other things happen in games that cause you to lose.
No, they don't. The dice hate me, and that's the end of the story, Mike.
I don't buy that. I never buy that.
I will say, like, kudos to you guys, and I said this in the Hangout too, who managed to handle that mentally taxing weight of a day. Because I just watched the games get played, and I was exhausted by the time that we left. And I didn't have other than a couple of times the site crash, it wasn't as mentally taxing as it was, I think, on you guys. So kudos. It takes a lot of mental stability to hang in there that long, because a lot of the games were going closer to time than I think I've seen in the past. Top 8 was going to 3 games. I think almost all of them, maybe not all, but a lot of them went to all 3 games and close to time. It was a long day.
It was, yeah, I mean, any tournament like that where you do well is like that. And certainly that's the advantage, I guess, of having a little bit of a break between Swiss and top 8. And we just didn't have the luxury of that because of time.
Yeah.
We had a lot of out-of-town people, and that mall closes at 9. So it's like, or 8 even. So it's like, they just wanted to, run them, which was fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was only 20 minutes for lunch, too.
Yep. It did kind of lead to like a you know what I mean, like a pretty snappy tournament. Which is good, but it does mean you're playing rounds back to back to back to back to back.
Wow. Very taxing.
Very cool. I'm glad y'all had a good time. It was fun to watch
from
afar. And the stream went well, I thought. Good job.
Thanks.
I told Kim if I got blown out and just awful, I was going to go to Best Buy and buy a microphone and then just razz everybody on stream for the remainder of the tournament. Unfortunately, well, I didn't lose quick enough.
You didn't.
If I had lost a little earlier, I would have gone and done it.
That's the thing that was missing that I would have liked to have brought, and maybe I'm starting to stretch into our main topic a little bit, but we have the space there for sure to do commentary. In fact, I could run cords into the next room that has a door. So,
Oh yeah, it's actually really probably well set for that.
although then back there you'd hear all the the D&D chaos occasionally. But
Like, yeah,
that would have been nice. And honestly, it just came down to all of our locals were playing. Mike and I are the only two Chance Cube locals here. So we really didn't have anybody that could just come sit and do commentary. Because I'll be honest, to run the stream, you can't run the stream and do commentary. Like, you could get sarcastic comments from me periodically, but that's all you're going to get.
that's like I said. If I had lost quickly, I would have done it, but I just didn't this time.
That's fair.
Well, we're glad that you didn't. I mean,
Yeah. We're glad
our
you
goal
did
is
it.
not for you to go and then just lose in round one.
That's
It's not
true.
working
It
out.
sort of hurts my credibility if I lose all of the time.
You have
I've
credibility.
won-
That's amazing.
I do. I maintain it through careful nurturing of my reputation and through mediocre play.
Before we jump into our main topic, Kim, I think you've got a little show and tell there. Speaking of the hangout
Oh,
and Patreons.
I was like, I don't know what he's talking about, you guys.
He wants to see the
I
data.
apologize for those who are
You,
listening via audio
What?
because you're going to miss the visuals on this one. But
well, perhaps we'll post a picture on Facebook.
Mhm.
And I'll actually do that instead of say that I'm going to do that and then forget and then not do it, which is a thing that I know that I often do. So call me out on it. People remind me because I just forget. It's not that I don't want to. I just forget.
That definitely
So we've
happens.
got, yeah. So if you're a Patreon, and you could maybe we'll run a little thingamajig that if you run right over and sign up to be a Patreon at patreon.com/thechangecube. For $1, you can join the Change Cube Hangout, and you get to talk to all of us. For $5, we like to thank you each month, and this month it's like a ton of stuff.
well,
So-
because we forgot the last 2 months. So
But we
it's
didn't
like-
forget.
We didn't.
We didn't forget. We had some stuff. So we have
Nova put us back.
Yeah, so we have it's a really cool artist. Her name is Luna Rose, and she did. Which one do you want me to show first? I'm going to do the double one. So we have a Kylo and a Rey that look when they match up. Oh, this is hard to do when I can't see the camera. They match
Fighting
up
as they
if
should
you can hold the thing still. Woo-hoo. So let me try and get him closer. Oh God, this is hard. Okay,
be. That's pretty good.
Looks good.
so these are our first. We did a set like this a long time ago. But these are our first. So new Kylo Rey. That when you put the cards together,
It's one picture.
they match up.
Yeah.
And if you hurry up and become a Patreon, there might just be a plot in the future of this set. I mean, I've heard maybe whispers. And there's this really awesome Mr. Bones, you guys.
That's pretty
Mr.
rad.
Bones.
That turned out pretty good.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. I'll take a picture right now, and we'll get that up on the Facebook page because
Yeah,
if
so
I don't,
those
I'm
are-
gonna forget.
Those are our.
So
Patreon
those are going
gifts
out in the mail.
for the month. And
Pretty soon.
maybe in a
like-
week or two we'll do like a giveaway or something. That'd be fun. We haven't done those in a while.
Yeah, we haven't done those in a while. I could bring the AT-AT back out.
Oh,
The one that I pulled all the names out of.
yes.
I took that to work last week for Halloween because I dressed up like a Disney tourist. And my buddy dressed up
You
like a
should've left it at
Jedi.
that. I dressed up like a Disney.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I had my AT-AT bucket with popcorn in it, walking around, and I had snacks all day.
I legitimately thought for at least a minute in this conversation that you were talking about the 8-foot AT-AT from Home Depot.
I wish.
And I'm like, how did you carry that thing around? That's pretty
You
impressive.
could always you have your mouse droid, right? I sent that your mouse droid.
Yeah, but I figured less people would recognize that one. So I took my AT-AT and I also took my TIE Fighter. I have a collection, you guys. I almost took that one too, and my bag was full. And I wore my hoop-de-doo ears, and I wore my Mickey Mouse shirt, and I carried around like a little Mickey Mouse. And then my bestest work buddy, well, one of my bestest work buddies, dressed up like a Jedi. So we took a picture, and it looked like I was at Galaxy's Edge. But
I
I
like
wasn't.
it.
I was in Ohio, where it's freaking cold.
Oh, well. Speaking of,
Picture
no,
acquired.
I can't segue this very well. Let's go ahead and talk about, hey, Destiny as a spectator sport, the topic of this show.
But you know what I always say: speak softly and drive a big tank.
So, Star Wars Destiny has long been a game that we play, and it's long been a game that we stream and we watch and we enjoy. I think the groups at large are getting more and more into streaming. So we wanted to, as we just finished streaming a Prime this weekend, talk a little bit about what makes Destiny worth watching. Whether it's at stream or in real life, and I think we'll start with as the kids say, the IRL version of spectating Destiny, and kind of one of my, and I'm to blame for this too. One of my pet peeves is everybody bailing on the last match. So like the championship matches are like no one watching. But then again, do you sit and hover? And how do you best watch a game? How do you best enjoy watching Destiny live? Is there anything we need to do as a community to make that more enjoyable? Is that a thing? Am I making stuff up?
I mean, you are, but it's a thing too. It can be both, right? So I guess here's the thing, right? I like to watch games in real life if I have stakes in the outcome. Like if I know one of the players, or if I might have to play one of the players.
Yeah.
Or if it's at a local event that's relatively small, and so I'm not going to like crowd. But I can admit this quite honestly. I was at Worlds, literally like a quarter mile away from the probably most important game in Star Wars Destiny this year that was being played with big televisions, and I didn't stay to watch it. You know what I mean? Not because I didn't like have any stakes in it, but because I could go to the bar and stream it, and that was fine too. So as far as like in real life watching, it's awesome. It's super fun. If I have stakes, I guess, right? And it's fun to watch with other people too. Like it would have been fun to stay at the convention center and watch that stream, no doubt at all. But for me, I think I kind of have to care about the people playing. Like, and I mean that more than a sense of respect their ability to play the game well. I think I really, because I want to be able to like congratulate the people and be like, "Hey, great job," and all that. I'm probably not going to do that to a stranger. Personal opinion.
That's fair.
Yeah, when you say Spectator, we actually brought a second monitor to the stream, which Jason in the past has used this for our commentators. And we just flipped it around and had, I don't know, at one point 6 people or so pulled up a chair. And they actually sat there and watched instead of, 4 feet away is the actual game table. And then nobody was really crowded around the game table, which I thought gave the players a little breathing room. Mm-hmm. Because I know often people will hover over somebody and watch that game. And me personally, I find that very distracting and that's what causes me stress. I could probably play on stream more comfortably than I could with several people standing over my shoulder watching me.
And that's like one of those things too, right? When you're watching someone you know and they make a big mistake, you have to sort of be like, and not say anything. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're watching on the screen,
why'd you do that? Yeah.
Yes, you can have the moment. So I mean, that's something. I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was fun. But again, it was one of those things where I knew I was potentially going to have to play one of the people I was watching. So I don't know.
I wanted to look because I know our Chance Cube Hangout weighed in on this a little bit, but I have to find it.
All that's in the script. If you have the script.
Oh, you're fantastic. Yeah. There was. I think you're right. I think helping. We kept the mic live on the table so because a lot of players will announce what they're doing as they do it, or at least there's some chatter on the table. But I think it certainly helps to have somebody that's aware, that's familiar with the game and the rules, that can kind of explain the plays that are happening and what's going on, at least for me. And then someone, but at the same time, when you want it to be a little fun. Like you want the commentary to be kind of fun. I mean, at least that they're having fun, because then otherwise, I don't know. Like if they're being super serious, maybe I'm just not serious enough about Destiny, and other people feel totally different about this. But I think you need that little bit of color commentary, and you want them to be having a little fun while they're talking about it, or else to me it just becomes kind of dry and kind of bleh, and I get lost in the rules of it, and then I'm not even paying attention. Then I just kind of zone out.
The play-by-play is fun, but color commentary is where it's at with this kind of thing. I want to learn something I don't already know. And if you watch like people roll dice and it's there's the 2 melee, it's like cool, but I know that. You know what I mean? It's fun to be like, this is a potential play, or this is something another player did in the past in this situation. Mm-hmm. After the game, we'll ask him why he did this or why she decided to make this play, and so for that kind of thing, I really think that's maybe a way to make streams better. I don't know.
Yeah. And so speaking of, as we focus on streams, and I think this is where, at large, the world has to realize kind of what goes into a stream and the sacrifices that are being made, because as no one, as far as I'm aware, no one streams Destiny to make any money, because that's not something that is possible with this game. There's not enough viewers out there to consistently watch this game to achieve those levels on Twitch to get any funds from it whatsoever. So support your local streamers, folks, whether they have a Patreon or a Twitch account, because streaming ain't free at all.
And it's faux show.
And the larger events that get streamed, the more expensive the internet becomes. We've seen that. As many of the Chance Cube family members are very much aware, the Chance Cube is sitting in a pile of debt just from the streaming that we've done at Worlds and Nova over the past 3 years that we're still trying to pay back. And that is something we do because we love the game, we love the community, and we want to make sure this stuff gets out there. And we want to do it well, right? And the question is, what is
because you'll hear, because I'm being nice, but you'll hear about it if you don't. I mean, if I'm going to tune into a stream, and that was part of the I'm happy that I have the camera that I have, because we were able to get it up high enough and you can see the symbols on the die. Fairly clear. And I'm not perfect, but fairly clear. So there involves, you have to have the right equipment. I'm speaking from if you're streaming and you want to put on a good stream, it takes equipment. It takes a laptop that can handle the capacity. It takes internet. Mm-hmm. It takes, a lot of gear that you got to pack with you. And I'm not saying that somebody couldn't throw an iPhone Pro up there and do it, because these days you probably could.
Yeah.
But
we'd streamed at least, I think, 1 or 2 Worlds matches with an iPhone because our internet crapped out. That was really funny. But it worked out okay. Lost the frame.
Yeah, you're right. But... Yeah. Well, I mean, we had some challenges. We were plugged into the internet at the store and still had, when something else drained it, I mean, the store's the store. They have to run their business.
Yep.
But we had a couple of times that we lost. Everybody was very cool about it. But from being a streamer, and I'm sure other content creators would say it too, you still got stuff that you got to use. Whether you're doing it on TTS, you still got to be able to stream it to something. I mean, you're probably using OBS of some sort, which thankfully is a free program. But
and let's not forget that those who are streaming generally are sacrificing their ability to play.
Yep.
Now, with some exceptions, so at Worlds, a lot of folks were volunteering to do commentary, which means they weren't grinding pods, which means they had paid to be there that weekend and were not gaining whatever benefit from, they were doing the commentary and not, getting those additional prizes or tickets or whatever that they wanted. And that goes the same. Like we've gone to Nova 3 years in a row. I think I played 1 year because we had enough staff. I haven't played the last 2 years. Kim has never played at Nova. And that's just, and there's no support for those people. People who stream generally don't get anything from the venue that they're at. So.
Right. Yeah, FFG's not throwing in a couple extra promos. Actually, we even found that the TO of the event didn't even get any of the promos in the Prime kit this year.
Really?
Go away, Fly!
Yeah, it was pretty harsh.
So I'm kind of curious, like, when it comes to, we tried something for Nova this year, which was doing the overlays with the characters, which was very labor intensive, but had some great reception. But a lot of things that people are doing right now these days are multiple cameras. So trying to get, the overhead camera, but also either a shoulder cam or what's affectionately known as a crotch cam, which I would just call a hand
We avoid
cam.
all of those.
But,
you have the word was mentioned at least twice when I was setting up the stream, that the height of the camera had to be enough to capture the play area, but not be a crotch cam. That's exactly what.
That's funny.
We were trying to avoid that at all costs.
But
then you're looking at more equipment. I mean, it's and then this stream becomes more labor intensive because you have to make sure all your cameras are running. Are they blocked by something? Are you making transitions to and from those cameras? Because then it becomes a more labor of love, per se, to make sure.
Do you like the hand cams, Mike?
I see both, ways. I don't know how much I would like one as a player, where I knew that I was trying to keep my hand available for a camera. But as like a viewer, I mean, it's cool as long as it's done in such a way you can read.
I like the way FFG does it. Granted, they've got someone who's constantly switching between views, but they just the over the shoulder kind of is unobtrusive. It doesn't really impact things as much, and allows you to focus on the one hand of the player that's trying to make the decision. Which I think more streamers could do, but to Kim's point, that would require someone dedicated to switching camera views.
And you need the space,
constantly.
which can sometimes be hard in the right, we're lucky at our game store that they actually have a wonderful area for play, and we have plenty of space.
It's true.
But other stores are a little bit smaller, and I've always said, and this is why we didn't have people change out their tokens, much to my chagrin, at Nova, simply because I don't want to throw off anybody's groove. So I feel like if I have an intrusive camera, or I have something in the way, or I ask you as a player to use different tokens, now I feel like I'm messing with your mojo, because you're used to playing a certain style a certain way, with certain things in certain places, and if I throw all new stuff at you or put a camera in your way, now I feel like I don't know, and that's not a thing that I ever want to be better if it's not been in my way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so I have a well-known habit of from each season, I like to try to get something new to add to my token pile or my mat or my promos. You know what I mean? I like to accumulate stuff. And so for me, and for a lot of people, I think one of those things you accumulated over time was those clear damage tokens.
They're the worst.
From the regional circuit in year one. I think they were top 16 prizes. And I still use them because it was cool. I mean, it's one of those things where you could say I was top 16 in the first year of regionals, right? You didn't know by setting them down that you were. But they also are awful for streamers because they are clear and basically don't show up.
You can't see a thing. It wasn't just the clear ones. We struggled with that at Nova with metal ones too. That it was just enough that there was a glare that you couldn't see, and with what we were running as an overlay, you couldn't change. It was really hard to tell what I had to get up a couple and look to see what damage was on a character during the stream because we just couldn't tell.
But I guess to that end, right? I don't need those tokens. I just like to use them because I sort of like to sort of carry around all those experiences and all those different tournaments in my stuff. But I could use big tokens for one game, and I think probably many people could. I get where you're coming from though, and I kind of like the idea of being unobtrusive. So that's definitely. Do you try to cater to the viewers, or do you try to cater to the players?
That's a tough call, I think. I mean, somewhere you gotta try to find some sort of balance, because then if you're only catering to the viewers and becoming a nuisance, for lack of a better word, to the players, then no one's gonna want to be on stream.
Sure.
Like if it's so difficult to play on your stream that I can't use this and I have to sit here and I must, then I'm just gonna go, you know what, never mind.
Yeah, absolutely. But at some point, too, if it's a player saying, I will definitely only use this token that's basically invisible on stream, you know what I mean? Is that a player that should be on stream?
Sure.
Do you maybe just have that conversation? So, because for me, it's just stubbornness, right? I like my tokens. Like a lot of people just like their tokens they bring to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I could probably be convinced to use different ones. And I don't know. Maybe I don't speak for every player, but I don't know. Maybe that one's not such a bad sacrifice.
Interesting.
Well, we'll find out how intrusive Kim can get, because Mike and our local crew are my guinea pigs.
We are.
For weekly streaming. So as we come up with new ideas, guess who's going to get to try them out?
Right. I'm excited.
You guys just wait for the week I don't play and I do commentary, because my commentary is going to be horrendous.
I love it. So we kind of posed this question to the Chance Cube Hangout because we were kind of curious what people were saying. A lot of people are talking about commentary, and part of keeping this channel up and running is we like to benchmark what everybody else is doing, and there's a ton of gameplay videos out there, right? But people are moving to IRL YouTube videos because TTS is slightly less interesting to watch, I think, overall, unless you have a really engaging group of people commentating over it. Dice Commando, and they do a great commentary overlay. It's a single person, which can be a little dry, I think, because you're either technical or you're color, and it's kind of hard to have. I think it's kind of hard to do a single commentator. That's challenging.
Oh, I think so. You need somebody to kind of play off of. I mean, what sport? I know I'm throwing sports out there, but I don't know that there's any sports that there's a single commentator on.
And there's probably 3 or 4 other groups that stream that film their either local league or weekly play nights, and they just put those videos up there, which, as you can tell from the view count, tend to get less views because I think it's just less engaging to watch something that, especially if the camera's not sharp enough to see the dice. Like, you have to follow the game yourself. You don't, it's, I don't know, unless you're really studying a particular deck in a particular matchup. I don't know if I just turn on a game of Destiny that someone's not talking to me while it's going on. I think that's.
I think Jason just said he's not going to watch our stream, Mike.
I watched your stream.
So I think ultimately you're either watching it because you enjoy it or because you're learning from it. Mm-hmm. And we've sort of, I guess, if we're at a point where we don't know that we would enjoy it without commentary, then you have to be able to learn from it somehow. And that even kind of lends itself to saying you need commentary. So if you're trying to get YouTube views and like that's the goal, I think commentary is critical. If you're just sort of saying, hey, we played these games, check it out, there's some pretty cool plays here. I mean, especially for live play, maybe you don't need it. But I definitely think if it's one of those things where you're trying to watch it later just to watch a game of Destiny, you're watching it for the commentary as much as for the gameplay.
Yeah. And I watch a fair number of Magic videos just as a benchmark, and I mean I don't play Magic, and I still not 100% sure how it's played, but I find them engaging because the commentators are engaging or the streamers are engaging for whatever reason. So the Patreons at our Hangout and the Chansky family responded to some of these questions, including is Destiny worth watching as a spectator? What kind of commentary is needed? What kind of camera angles do you like? And what kind of popcorn flavor do you enjoy while watching Star Wars Destiny? Jim Goss says, I find it difficult to watch streams without commentary. Good commentary can make it really fun to watch as well. Especially the recording quality is poor. And the good thing is, I think in the last year and a half, 4K cameras have become so much more affordable.
Well, like I said, the new iPhone, I mean, the thing's ridiculous.
Because we were streaming off of a 1080, which doesn't really do well with the dice. And that's what happened with Worlds, when we streamed Worlds last year. We've done so much better with our current camera.
I think mine's a 1080.
Well, you also have like a real video camera.
I do have a real video camera. I'm not using a webcam.
Which is key. Matthew Scott enjoys kettle corn.
Yay!
So, yeah. And there's something about M&M's
because it's so good, he said.
Ruben Sanchez, quality of the video with shots of what the player's cards are, so really enjoying the camera angle over the shoulder.
We actually had some luck with that, I feel like, and maybe just because that's how players were, but with the angle that we had, you were able to see what was in the player's hand.
Yeah, you were high enough that if the cards got tilted forward, they showed up.
You can see them.
Yeah.
Which also is, if you get a shot of their hand, your commentator also has to be well versed in the images on the card. Right?
Yeah, because that's the main part that you're going to see.
Sometimes if you're going to examine an entire hand and just see slivers of images, being able to say, "Oh yes, he's got an easy pickings because I know it's yellow and I see Zeb there," just 1/3 of the image. Or somebody who's a card flipper and do one at a time, 1,000 rates per second. Bill Jolly really enjoyed the FFG stream from Worlds, including interaction with those that are watching. So a really engaging chat is kind of also exciting. So if you're just lurking on a chat for a stream, just say hello. I think that's helpful. It's kind of like when you're watching in person. It's really interesting to watch with other people who are also engaged. So the same kind of goes with watching a stream. An
Just
active
don't
chat.
start a bunch of drama when you're in there chatting. Save this all the time.
Save the salt.
Don't make me mute you.
Like no, Bill Jolly also passes on the popcorn. He prefers cheese and crackers. And then Cecil asks a question, which is more important: the name of the player or the name of the deck? Which is really interesting.
That's a good question.
So do you put
Because
player
I think
names?
you would get very different answers depending upon who you ask that question to.
True.
I mean, who's watching, right? Do you know the people? There's like that human interest bit of if somebody relatively well known is playing, you'd like to know it's them. But okay, so the name of the deck, I guess. Let me put it this way: if you look at the field, you probably know what the deck is, right? Like if I set down Kylo and Rey, I don't know that you would need to write Raylo to understand that that's what it is. Maybe though. Unless, is he talking like if I gave the deck a name, like a specific name?
Well, it looks like he gets more specific too, that he's talking about having the deck name with the ability to watch the damage that way.
Oh.
So maybe more similar to what we did at Nova, where it had the images. I don't think it had the names, but I had the images of those characters.
Yeah. I'm just
which is awesome, but let me tell you, super hard to do.
yeah, I guess just because to me, you're gonna figure out the deck when you watch the stream, unless you come in like halfway through and a character's dead and you don't know.
Which can happen.
It's possible.
Which then it could be useful, but I think I'd prefer the name of the person, just because I think watching gameplay you can figure out what the deck is,
Or both.
or both. Why not?
When the meta gets a little more boring, then we'll do the when Palpatine's no longer out there and I have to figure out which upgrades are on him. Then we'll do the point stuff again.
All right. You guys just wait until I think our stream. Kim, what week do you not stream in a month for us on Wednesdays?
So it'll be
Yeah.
the second Wednesday of November. So not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday I won't be there.
So next week we're actually doing Infinite on Wednesday night, and we're doing Infinite again on the 20th.
So I'll be back on the 20th to do it.
So you will get an Infinite stream on the 20th. This week is standard again.
Cool.
No commentary yet. We're still working on that.
Eh?
I mean, I can talk all you guys want, but you're not going to want to listen to that for.
I mean, I would, but
Well,
That's
one of these
entertaining.
weeks I'll not play.
Something
commentary.
shiny would happen, and I'd go off on a over,
so I
and
tuned
I'd
into
still
a
be
Destiny
talking about
stream.
whatever was shiny.
Someone tuned into a Destiny stream. I was like, "Why is she talking about D&D?" I'm so confused.
Well,
She
you
just-
guys,
We just turn her loose, man. She just goes.
you made the point earlier that content creators basically have to choose sometimes between playing the game and creating content. And right now, I'm still choosing play the game, which is why there's not really any commentary because I haven't helped Kim with that part really.
I'll steal him every once in a while.
Yeah, we'll get it
I
figured
can't
out.
steal you all the time, though, because
No,
then
I
that
mean,
just
you gotta
wouldn't be
play.
fun.
Now it's
Maybe one week we'll let Kim play, and I'll just talk to everybody.
No, that wouldn't be very pretty. Maybe one of these days we'll find a way to stream it back, and then somebody somewhere else can commentate.
there. You go. That's easy.
It's outside of my that's out of my like. I don't know how to do that. I'm sure it's not that hard, but
It's not.
You'd be able to do it.
Very cool. Well, so the end result is support your streamers. Commentary is desired, but watch games to learn. And as long as the stream is clear, I mean, I think people should jump in and watch Destiny just as much as they're playing, if they can. There's plenty of people out there who are either posting videos or streaming their local events or their primes or whatnot right now, and that's just the way to keep the game alive between sets and everything. So, super
Yeah,
important.
and for what it's worth, if your stream has one commentator, no commentators, 50 commentators, that'd be cool. I think it's awesome. I think everyone should keep doing it, keep trying to get better. keep trying to perfect whatever it is that we're trying to do here.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is cool. It is cool to see everybody's different take on streams and how people keep trying to do this and give us something to watch. So, nice job, everybody.
Great. So let's go ahead and jump in and answer the questions from last week.
There can be no mistakes this time.
All right, so I liked this one because I think, and we had some good answers too. Is there an accessory category, deck box, tokens, dice storage, that you feel has not yet found its perfect product for Star Wars Destiny? So I was trying to think what I felt, but I'm going to read their answers first because I think a couple of
I was like, that was a pregnant pause.
Yeah, sorry. So our buddy Tim, so there are a number of items available for taking your cards and dice out and about, but because of the huge variability in the number of dice that may be in a given deck, I don't think we've yet cracked the code for a travel solution that both keeps cards and dice in their place and can accommodate 2-die Ewok deck all the way up to the Fistful of Dice and a Palp deck. And I've seen lots of different options. Like I use a Ultra Pro deck box that will tap out at, I think it's 12 die. I forget. Maybe it's more than that. It's more than that, but I can't remember how many dice you can get in it. But I've had a deck that it could not carry all the dice in before. And there's various other deck boxes you can get, but I think he's right. There's, although Isaac had a really cool Lego deck box that I think carried everything. Yeah. However, you drop that sucker, you're totally screwed. True. I don't know. Do you guys have a? I don't have a good solution for that currently. I even have a bag to carry my decks in, and I still feel that it's kind of a pain in the neck.
I have the different Store Championship boxes. Like the first one that had Phasma on it, the little cardboard box, and the second one with Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. And then they just gave us the slightly more advanced, but yet still cardboard boxes at Worlds. And so I just use those, really. I mean, I'm not sure they're perfect, but they get decks from point A to point B for me. So that tends to
there
be
was
what
the guy who used to be in our local group, and I can't remember the brand, and one of you guys might. Because they kind of make bags and stuff for minis too, but he had a really nice, small, portable solution that would carry his deck, and then it kind of had like the little, padded areas for the dice to go in.
Who had that?
One of those.
Rob.
I think it's one of those filter cases.
I think it was Filter.
Yeah.
But they're only like this big. So it's still, but it's kind of large to have at the table. The first year of Worlds, they had really nice deck boxes they gave out, and then they quit doing that.
I think they had really nice ones twice, actually.
I think you're right.
It's just this year they were a little lackluster, but I'll take my fancy cardboard and be happy with it.
There you
go. Bill Jolly mentioned that one of the things that he likes to see, that the game allows for creativity amongst the players when it comes to storage solutions and accessories. He likes seeing all the different mats, tokens, alt arts, dice trays, card sleeves, and storage boxes. He said, I even saw a Yahtzee cup on stream. That's kind of cool. Or Yahtzee style cup. I would have just pulled out the Yahtzee cup.
It might not be big in there.
That's true. The variety of things can really open up a conversation at the table, which is very true. Fan-produced goods also pushes FFG to up their game, which I would totally agree with. I mean, I have a custom Han Solo mat. Because I don't win all the cool ones like Mike wins.
So that's interesting. I mean, FFG wants to take a cut of that market share, right? They want to talk, when you talk about tokens, you want to talk about deck boxes and things. And I mean, I know that they have stayed away from major accessories for Destiny, which is unfortunate because what they're doing for Keyforge is like really cool when it comes to their deck boxes and all that stuff. I mean,
I've seen some nice 3D printed solutions for Destiny a few times, but those are still a little costly till you get 3D printing down a little bit.
There's a whole sub market for people who are just sharing their 3D designs you can print yourself. If you have a halfway decent 3D printer, which is becoming more and more common, but still not.
Yeah, the one that we have, we purchased for less than $200 during a Prime sale.
Yeah.
It seems like very few people anymore are still using like the cardboard punch-out tokens. It's sort of like an I forgot my
I still
tokens
have
this week emergency.
Right.
I totally still have them.
And it is
Because I don't care if I lose them.
Fair enough. I would be like devastated if I lost my little token bag. It's got stuff from years of play in it. So there is some value to the cardboard ones in that sense, I suppose. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thanks for those two who commented. So I wish we had a little bit more. But that just may mean that everybody thinks that the accessories are kind of in a great spot. Or at least, this point in the game, anybody who's played for a while has kind of figured out their solution.
Everybody's using those folders that FFG put out.
Yeah, that's
The dice binders.
I didn't think anyone would buy those, and then one of our local guys bought, I think, 2 of them, and uses them pretty regularly. And I thought, okay, well,
That's wild.
And they've held up, which really surprises me more than anything.
yeah,
I mean, as far as I could tell when I saw it, they were still holding up.
yeah. I mean, he carries them around all over the place, so I don't know. They work for him.
It'll be interesting to see too, because you wonder. I mean, I'm just surmising here, right? Keyforge was really successful. How quickly did they turn around those products for the accessories? And knowing that Star Wars stuff has a larger lead time because of Lucasfilm approvals, do you think they've even gone that route with them yet? Will Matt Holland come and save the day and influence product design?
Arguably, the world shields are a step in that direction, right?
Yeah,
They're pretty nice.
And I would say, too, it's not that there isn't stuff for Destiny. It's that it's very strange and sort of odd things, like the binders. That sort of, I think, were well-intentioned, but ultimately, that's a very niche population that's really going to want those. And I still remember, last year for regionals, when you got top 2, they gave you a little, a binder. And Destiny doesn't have chase foils or any, so I don't know what you're supposed to put in it. Full arts, I guess, if you have them. I used it for my monochromes this year, so I was quite happy about it.
That's fair.
But, there's a lot of these little things that they've created that I'm not sure have a place. And so I don't know if they've hit on an official product, other than tokens yet, that people really want.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully,
Yeah, the tokens I feel like have always been popular.
Yeah, they're good.
People trading to get a full set or something like that. I feel like those, and they're good quality tokens.
yeah.
Those clear ones were a terrible idea.
Yeah, I chased those the blue shields that were just locals ones forever, trying to get a set of 10 of them. I only had 5, and now I guess I have different ones. But that was a cool touch, having those to go after, locally as prizes for kits and stuff. I thought tokens were good for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's hope.
They're doing a better job of the mats too. Although I found it weird that for the primes that it was almost the same. It was the same characters in a reversed. I just thought it was weird that it was Kylo and Rey on both the mats.
I'll be real. I definitely wish that I had played well at something that had a cool champion mat, so I could be look at this, set it down. Everyone be scared, because anything, they hadn't come up with that yet when I played well at something. So
yeah,
it definitely is incentive though, right? It's like the Mr. Bones kit, the premium kit. It's like when a mat, the mats look good. So
Yeah, they look good.
I mean,
Yeah, the one store championship mat I have is the art that I disliked the most.
Which one's that?
The one that has the crazy haired girl and the.
Oh, with Tiplar. Yeah.
I don't like that one.
Yeah.
nice. That's funny.
They had a missed opportunity on that one to make it the Ahsoka mat, since there was an Ahsoka prize.
Now they're going all themed on other prize kits, so yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that Anakin prize kit for Cobra Mission. Can't wait.
Mike has a bromance happening.
Sounds good.
I'm just going to continue that joke until that set comes out, which could be months, so get ready.
Right. Maybe we should do our own alt art Anakin just for him.
Maybe you should.
Can we get him to draw it to look like Mike?
No, because then we will lose Patreons.
No one would use that. Some of my local guys would use that as a troll. Nobody would use that in real play.
Oh no, we set up a whole Anakin night. I'd have everybody use it.
All right, this show's gone on long enough.
I need to go to sleepy time.
Everybody,
junction.
thank you for watching. If you're watching live, please subscribe via Amazon Prime. It is free. You get our cool emote, YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the notification icon. Podcast, please review on your favorite podcast review site. I would normally thank Matthew Scott here, but he bailed on us tonight, so thank you to me for posting all this stuff on Facebook. Thank you to our Patreons. Please check out patreon.com/thechancecube for all the benefits and perceived benefits that you get.
The mail you get from Kim.
That you get from Kim in the mail. And of course, head to the iOS store to get our Price Watch app. That is another great way to support us. And anything and everything helps keep this channel alive and more content coming. Thank you very much. Head over to the Facebook page. Pinned to the top is our question for the week, which I'm assuming I now have to go create and post. Is what do you feel makes a live stream of Star Wars Destiny enjoyable to watch or easy to follow? So we are asking for your input on today's topic, and love to hear from you. And with that, we bid you adieu.
Neat. Well done. Great summary. 10 out of 10.
Good night, kids.
This has been The Chance Cube, a Star Wars Destiny podcast, a non-profit organization dedicated to building community through gaming. Visit our website for all things Star Wars Destiny, including our Price Watch, Meta Tracker, and latest articles from the Chance Cube family. Find our latest videos on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit us at patreon.com/thechancecube. Your patronage allows us to grow this program and help us give back to the gaming community by sponsoring events, giveaways, and supporting our own community building initiatives. This is Mike Hill, the voice of the Chance Cube. Thanks for listening. The Chance Cube is not affiliated with Fantasy Flight Games, Lucasfilms, or the Walt Disney Company.